topics, so because I have a happy topic to talk about. This is the American Studies Center. It's a story of success, tremendous success, and thank you, Lee, for very kind words of mentioning us in your message. 40 years celebrating this year, and if I were to look at the list of names, and I know that Professor Lira here compiled a list of names, very lengthy one, of people who have been associated with one way or another with Indiana University, and it's a very impressive list, as it was mentioned here. I'm not going to name any people out of the fear of committing a faux pas, diplomatic faux pas. Former ambassadors here, yes, and the current ambassadors here, so they know how to commit a faux pas, so I'll avoid that. Not that you committed any, not that I know of. But it is, except for telling you a few things about the American Studies Center, which I was asked to do here, I'd like to weave in the relationship with Indiana University and what it meant for the people who had the opportunity to go to Indiana, study there, or visit there. I don't know if people in Indiana are aware of it, how important it was for those scholars and students who had the opportunity to take advantage of such visits in the previous period of history, but also in the current one. A visit to an American university meant access to the world of ideas. Yes, a visit to a library full of books and access to databases that were unavailable to Polish scholars here. It often meant that after coming back from Indiana, you had 3-4 years of your research done, more books, articles here, and in this sense, I think Indiana contributed tremendously to the development, not only of American studies, but of university studies in Poland. Indiana symbolized for Polish visitors what America stands for. Yes, opportunity, creativity, freedom, good stereotypes. Also, plaid jackets and cornfields, pre-GMO cornfields, and the slightly negative stereotypes. But also, there are no negative stereotypes of Americans here. There are the funny ones and the good ones. And I think people coming back from Indiana and from American universities in general, then writing books about this, the experience there, the books about culture shock, but also a book about how inspiring such visits were. And American Studies Center, being a counterpart to Polish Studies Center at Indiana University, benefited tremendously from those people returning, coming back with new ideas, open minds, and their suitcases full of texts that they could use for many years, teaching students from these notes, from their notes, from the lectures they heard there. It is hard to imagine now, in the new system where you have access to all kinds of information. Any book you wish to have, you can have instantly. Any text that's easily available. 40 years ago, when the relationship was established, I'm not sure that Polish authorities were aware of the full scope of the meaning of opening of the American Studies Center here and Polish Studies Center there, and having these two institutions interact. That was a time of 40 years ago, very essential asymmetrical relationship. Today, I'm proud to say that we can talk with Indiana University representatives and see ourselves as partners in the full meaning of this word, partners. Yes, we are not asking for anything in particular special. We can contribute equally to the exchanges, to the programs, to the plans, to the research. And that's, I think, a measure of success of what was started 40 years ago, that we can be true, real partners in Indiana University. And I think that thanks to such relations, we now have, and this is the part where I tell you a few good words about the American Studies Center, which is one of the largest American Studies Centers in Europe, if not the largest, when you look at the number of students, over 750 people studying BA and MA level, 80 courses each semester. Tremendous interest in our center. We have 6 candidates for 1 slot in the admissions process. Everything is done in English. We channel into our center tremendous interest in America that exists in Poland, and I think Ambassador Feinstein can vouch for that. Poles are passionate about America in good or sometimes negative way. We just ask them into American Studies Center. We say we correct the stereotypical visions you have. We contribute to them sometimes, unfortunately, yes, but we promise our students that we bring a piece of America to them. And we actually delivered this, and I'm proud to say this, that, and it was all started 40 years ago. Yes, I think we owe one person in the audience here a bow of respect. Wife of the first director of the American Studies Center, Professor Bohdan Szklarski, is with us here, and I'm not the first. No. The first? Yes, but so do we vote for that first? So, and Professor Szklarski, yes, and the second. And I'm the last one. I mean, in the line, I'm not the last one. In the Studies Center, obviously. Professor Bashuk is in the audience here, and he was creative to start the undergraduate program here, and this is what gave us a very solid foundation for development. We started graduate courses in 1992 with 60 students, and as I say, right now we have 750 students, and if it were not for the ministry regulations, and we would be even bigger, because there's enormous interest, and we bring, as I say, a piece of America to our students, and in terms of quality of education, the way we teach, the way we relate to our students, and our students, who a lot of them have experience at other departments, at Warsaw University and other schools all over Poland, they come back to us and say, "You're the greatest. You are absolutely special, because this is this little piece of America full of respect towards knowledge, towards people, and I think this is Indiana contribution to us. The certain culture of the institution that we often focus on tangible benefits, but the culture of the institution, the culture of teaching, which we have at American Studies Center and cherish, I think is a product of such relations. Therefore, I'm extremely ecstatic about renewing this relationship and looking forward to developing it even further, taking to the next level, as with the School of Global and International Studies, perhaps. So, if I may finish on a personal note here, and I've never been to Indiana Bloomington campus, not yet. Yes, lobbying. But I have a very fond memory of Indiana University Polish Studies program, and this memory tastes like peanut butter. Yes, in the 1981 we had a month-long student strike at the Warsaw University, and I was at the Department of English then. And it happened so that the director of the Polish Studies Center at Indiana, Professor Timothy Wiles, I think he needs to be mentioned here and acknowledged for his great contribution to the relationship. He was in Warsaw at the moment, teaching at the Institute of English. And those were, hard times. Stores were empty. This is the fall of 1981, and Tim came to the striking students one day with a gift, and it was a huge, like this size, can of peanut butter. So for most of us, it was the first taste of peanut butter which we had. So if anyone mentions Indiana University to me, it tastes like peanut butter. Thank you.